Last time on Dice Fall and Everyone Dies.
Oh, Helma, just gotta take care of my brimble bashers. And they kind of have this like chummy look between themselves. We'll be fine.
How can something with no lips be so adorable?
I understand that not all of town history is often something you want to keep down.
I do agree that many in our town have a tendency to over-glorify our town's founder. The inconsistencies is true. It's just whether or not Breachton had the best of intentions when helping out our people, he did. That is indisputable. And
But it
Taffy
was
tastes
fair.
full regret and now has an understanding of what the epitome of pickled regret is like.
This was delicious.
I used to like pickle.
She's gonna take it, and as it runs by, she's just gonna come down and chop its head off.
Just whoosh. It tries running and then its legs keep going, its head rolls off to the side and it makes its way out the door. It just falls over to the side afterwards in a pool.
Ha! Just like a chicken.
Welcome back to Dice Fall and Everyone Dies. GM Chris here, and since we mentioned it last week, let's go ahead and talk about combat mode for a few moments. Off the bat, there are a lot of feels, opinions, and perspectives about combat in the tabletop game world. I'm going to mention a few surface level concepts that I keep in mind when doing combat in tabletop RPGs. If you would like a more in-depth discussion, you could always sweet talk me by leaving those juicy comments on our Podchaser page or our iTunes pages. I can be bribed. Now, in the games that I run, I want combat to feel tense and impactful. An element of danger should pervade every combat, and there should be some element or information imparted. Sometimes the message is simple, like, know where your AC, HP, and attack are. Other times, combat is an opportunity for characters to display their power or ingenuity. Some combats are there to impart narrative lessons or dramatic tension. As such, my general concern with combat is narrative purpose. What does the player and audience learn from the combat? For broadcasted games especially, narrative focus should be maintained for each combat, and the GM should interrogate every encounter with a few basic questions. Is the party just starting out in your podcast on episode 1? Welcome to your tutorial fight! Show how your basic combat should be structured! Because you see, your players and listeners use your first combat to understand how the structure is going to apply for every combat they listen to going forward. It's kind of like how an author uses a writing perspective whenever they start a novel. The challenge is to be clear and consistent. Has your party gained new abilities? For combats, some of them are just really filler, and they're filler for good reasons. These types of combats inform players and audience how new abilities work, and how updates have happened in your game world. So you use these combats to show when the wizard casts their brand new fireball, or the brand new magic item of Awesome Sauce has just been activated for the first time. You want these kinds of combats to be short and punchy. You want that pace and tension to be held in a really good spot. Have you revealed a plot twist or narrative turn? These types of combats are high risk, high reward. Because, you see, done well, players can be emotionally affected by every roll of the dice in every combat action. Tension is high. Lives on the line. The core of a player is being tested to their max of wits and skill. When these combats occur, the GM must be solid on not just the mechanics of the fight, but also cognizant of timing, gameplay, plot, and critical detail. Juggling all of these ideas at once is what separates the good from the great. Is this combat at the narrative high point or low point? This is kind of a question of planning and timing when you do your combats. You see, you want fights with important characters to happen at narrative high points, and you want to keep long combats away from your narrative troughs. This is because combat has a tendency to mechanically slow things down. A long combat at a narrative trough is not likely to push your tension back up. These kinds of combats at a trough should be punchy and morale-boosting combats. At peaks, you want to fill them with tension, meaning, and just that that deliciousness that GMs love imparting on their players. Now you could be thinking, Chris, that sounds like a ton of work. Isn't this combat thing about the GM trying to kill the party? Yes and no. See, I'm actively trying to kill the party as much as the encounter calls for. Part of how I know I'm providing a great game experience is by getting feedback from my players for knowing how bad things affect them and their characters. You see, I want them to like it. I could use the rules to kill a character at any point in time. In gritty and bloody scenarios, I may do just that, but because my players signed off on that style of game. You see, combats need to be tailored to your players and your style. You want to be clear and honest at the beginning so that you can keep unwanted player versus DM vibes far away from your table. Now, if you want that kind of combat, you're playing a little bit like a war game, but to each their own. But you also know what isn't a ton of work? Leaving a comment on the episode on our Podchaser and iTunes pages. Did you know combats and ratings help the podcast grow? It's like planting a seed into the search algorithms and they blossom into a flower of sharing. But really, they help us get found on the different platforms, and you know how algorithms work. In any case, let us get back to the halls of Castle All-Terrain, where our party has just entered an eerily familiar hallway. Welcome back to Dice Fall and Everyone Dies Take 2, because it's a lot easier if you don't try to reset recordings and then realize that you're in for an hour and then suddenly have to go back and then redo things because you didn't hit the stupid goddamn fucking button.
Gotta hit those buttons, buddy.
You think he would finally understand the power of buttons, but no, not this one. He thinks his computer does all of the things correctly. He's not that smart.
Okay.
Calm down, Medvic.
So, since we should probably go ahead and
Panic level
to
rising.
check in on everyone. Zach is back with us. Welcome back, Zach.
Hi.
Yay!
Jules, are we still doing awesome today?
Doing good.
Stano and Shay?
We're up. We're at him. We're moving forward.
So Taffy said, I have waited months after reading this adventure path for the reaction we got that was not recorded. I hope Taffy's doing okay.
Taffy's a little heartbroken because we had to start over, but she's still going to be happy. And I think everybody else will be too.
So from what we've decided, there was an option to go right and left after y'all just finished getting into the hallway. And so we're going to go ahead and pick back up in the hallway after y'all just exited. The door was not trapped. Y'all were able to enter through. And from the two options, the right door and the left door, you find both of them enter into the halls. And so the halls are much like the back side of Castle All-Terrain. You see dour pictures of Hell Knights, all perfectly parallel
For now.
to the floor.
Looks don't translate over Mike.
Stano slowly looks at the gnome.
She giggles. You
And-
know me too well.
That's not a positive thing.
She whispers to Wimble, go tell them to the right.
And so as y'all are,
Permanently tilt your head. All right.
you see to the right, the hall continues and goes around what you assume is the courtyard. To the left, the same. When you look down each corridor and kind of peek your head around, you see that each one ends in a door. The one to the north appears to have some structural damage around its edge. And as you are beginning to check around, Steno hears this kind of tilting and looks and sees that Wimble is now on his second picture, slightly tilting it.
She's gonna point right at it and go, "You're so lucky I don't have a ranged weapon right now."
And you see Wimble just kind of float with its wings kind of flapping, just kind of prance along the edge of one of the parallel ones a little bit.
Just gonna pull out our war flail.
He looks, and it's got this side look. The picture is probably 3 feet up from the top of where Wimble is versus the flail might be able to. And he looks, and he gives you this stare of, I dare you. And then he vaults off, having the picture pushed down just that little bit, and you see it wiggling back and forth.
She's gonna put her flail away. Stano's not paid enough for this bullshit.
And so you're putting your flail away, and you see Wimble bounce around, and just as he's doing this superhero land right onto Taffy's shoulder, there's this crashing sound from the other side of the hall. You turn and you see Bread has done his own version of a superhero landing, but the pictures that were on both sides of the wall crash and knock down and scatter to each side.
Sorry, I thought I saw a fly.
Taffy's like, you're my hero.
You know, I think I have something for Bread's entrance here.
You know, I've often seen Bread roll, but I've never seen Bread fly.
So this is what I imagine when Bread enters in. The pictures clatter down off the wall. Bread stands up.
What is this song? I don't recognize it at all.
It's this jazz guy from Eurovision.
Oh. Stupid.
Stano just rubs her eyes. She's not paid enough for this.
Bread bends down and picks up one of the paintings and acts like he's gonna put it up on the wall and just sort of toss it aside.
So glad you could join us, Bread.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine.
Where have you been?
Well, being arrested, it had some effects on me. It brought back memories. I just needed some time, so I went to the spa. I had a nice shiatsu massage, some hot stones on my muscles. It was great. It's great.
What does any of that mean?
You should have invited me.
If I could double that sound effect simultaneously, I would, but I don't have that. I will put that shit in post. And there will be 2 versions of that playing in post. It's going to be great. I'm going to take that sound and I'm going to double it. It's going to be right next to each other. It will be both of y'all. And if I could have a little image of both of y'all in the fucking spa, I would have y'all both in the spa.
Anyway, so Taffy, while this is all going on, she's laughing to herself and she goes over to the door that is a little ruined from what you were saying and checks for traps.
From what you can tell, the door appears to be unlocked and does not appear to be trapped.
I'm going to open the door and peek in.
So as you peek in through the door, you see that it leads to another one of the antechambers that you've seen before. This one has what appears to be some structural damage and parts where the masonry is a bit exposed to the outside. As the light shaft comes in, it seems to cut through some of the gloom, but you're reminded of all of the damage that you saw from the outside. This area, much like the others, still reminds you that not all of the premises being explored may necessarily be safe. Powerful things have caused destruction here before.
You know, I wanted to fix her upper, but I was not expecting to have to do this many repairs.
Are you wimping out?
Not at all.
I didn't realize you were hunting for a house.
Yeah, when we first started on this adventure, I said this was dibs. It's mine. But I'm going to share it with my friends.
Stano's gonna roll her eyes and move forward.
So, Taffy's also going to follow Steno after peeking in the room and...
So you move in and open the door just on the other side that leads directly north, and you see it leads into a 10-foot hallway. So this hall extends down for about 15 feet, and you see a door that seems to be slanted as the hall makes a twist back towards the east. And so you see a door directly in front of you, but a little bit askew that looks like it heads off in kind of the northwesternly direction. And you can tell that the hall continues down, but it doesn't have a direct line of sight into what's at the end of the hall.
I'm gonna peek down the hall, like go up to the edge, peek around, see what's down there.
So as you peek around, you see what is not a familiar sight, but is one that's kind of ingrained in the scholarly mind. What you appear to see is a set of benches and platforms. And from what you can tell, it looks like you're seeing a judge's bench, witness stands, counselor tables. You seem to have located a courtroom that was used by the Hell Knights of the Order of the Nail. So, and as you look upon them, you can see that this is just the only things that remained as the indications of the room's previous uses. It was most definitely a formal courtroom at some time. The benches were long ago smashed up into fragments, and you can see that it's strewn about the gallery. And there are several empty doorways to the north, and through those doorways you see a large ragged opening in the citadel wall, letting in light. And visible from the opening of the hall right at the southern edge of the courtroom, you can see that where the opening in the wall of the citadel, there's an indention and collection of water there. And glinting off the morning sun, you see what appears to be metal, in fact, chainmail, of a body that is floating in that pool of water collected at the opening of the exposed wall that's there.
I relay this knowledge to the rest of the party.
Stano moves brusquely into the courtroom.
So the click of the stones, Stano's heels just hitting rhythmically, click, 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 click. You see that across the room, just what was once a formerly orderly place of the judicious execution of law is just smashed, desecrated. Part of you wonders and dares who would even attempt to befoul the execution of Chelish law or law in general.
Under Bread's breath, he says a bunch of fascists they were.
I want to take a look around and see if there's anything to be seen in the room.
Give me a perception check.
I don't see shit.
Stano's gonna give Brett a very sharp look. She does not approve.
-5 points on the friendship meter.
Everyone go ahead and give me a perception check.
In addition to the one I just rolled?
Well, you rolled.
Oh,
Everyone
okay.
else didn't roll.
19.
20.
11.
Oh, wait. Hold on. 21.
21.
So from what you can tell, it appears that amongst the benches there is a scattering of coins, about 5 silver and 40 coppers worth. Just places of where someone had come through and had broken the areas, but they hadn't checked things of where like the cushions might have been or underneath some of the material. So you're able to gather up this smattering of coins. And Demos, you see on the northern end that the body there looks like it is in relatively short amount of decomposition. It may have been floating there for a while. The stench is really, really rough.
Mm-hmm.
But the armor doesn't appear to be heavily weathered. It looks like it is a serviceable suit of chainmail on that body.
Ugh.
I'm gonna go over to the water to try to search the body.
Everyone go ahead and give me another perception check.
That's a
9.
18.
17.
Alright,
14.
so Taffy, what was yours?
18.
And Steno?
17.
Demos.
9.
Bread.
14.
Once again, Deimos is staring at the ceiling. Probably looking at somebody's butt, actually.
Probably Stanos.
Could be breads.
Could be breads. Taffy's butt is indistinguishable because of all the skirts of her robes, which are still like a darkish, muted, rose purpley red that's faded because it's secondhand.
How many sets of robes has Taffy been through?
2, and she's had her good set that's still in one piece is still up in her rooms, and she's got one in the making, but right now she's borrowing from the innkeeper's daughter, remember?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so she's currently wearing, actually it's more like a dress, I think, like a young girl's dress, so she looks even younger than normal. Kind of weird.
Taffy moves forward towards the pool, and you realize you see this tremor where the body is.
Gross.
And you think you can make what appears to be a shell out underneath, as though a tortoise the size of a pony is underneath it.
Do not like.
And you realize that part of the pool you're seeing right there must have crumbled and broken in, and you're seeing what is essentially a small, like, deep, koyish type pond. Reminds you a little bit of like some of the deeper ponds you saw in the Gardens of Absalom. The problem that you're faced with now is that as you realize that there is something underneath jabbing into that body, a second form lunges up out of the water and proceeds to attack you immediately.
What?
Taffy, I need your AC.
13.
So a beast similar to that of a turtle. Its shell looks like a spiked version of it, but that's where the similarities end. It is a scaled type beast, a face similar to that of a toothy, mauled, snapping turtle. And it's got these beady yellow eyes coming out at you. As the head pokes up and forward, it's going to attempt to claw you immediately. And with your AC of a 13, you're able to nimbly dodge just out of the way as it almost slashes right across your midsection. So you do a quick hop back from that, but it attempts to continue to barrel through and attempts to attack you with its shell with a body check. That body check is able to jab right into you, one of the spikes catching on and then ripping into you for a total of...
Please low.
There it is. 7 points of damage, cutting a gash in your dress again and leaving a bloody line across your abdomen. It seems as though there are 2 creatures here. Taffy, it is your action. So that long pause was because your GM totally forgot that there were supposed to be 2 of these the first time around, and you wondered why the encounter was so short.
Okay. She's gonna hit herself and cast shield, which is 1 action.
Okay.
Where's my red dice? It's the good one. 23 hit?
23 does hit.
Does it crit?
It does not crit.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost.
Okay.
I'm gonna blast them in the face with an icy ray. They have no resist on that, so it's just 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability,
Okay. So roll your...
which is Arcana,
to
right?
attack.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, shit. 8.
8 to hit.
Yeah,
8 damage.
8 damage, sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
What was your to hit?
23.
23.
Thank you. Oh yeah, because it did not crit. I got mixing between what I was reading. So 8 points of damage.
Yep.
It is still up. You have 1 action left.
I will back the fuck away.
Oh no, wait. You shield and then raid. So you're standing right in
Oh.
front of it. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So that means it is now Stano's turn.
Cool. How far away are they?
So they are within 1 action of movement.
Cool. She's gonna go up. Guess what she's gonna do?
She's going to power attack.
She's gonna power attack.
All right. Are you going to hit the? Or you're going to hit the one that's attacking Taffy directly presently?
Yes. Is the other one out of the water yet?
No, the other one is not out of the water yet.
But we know it's there.
Yes.
So yeah, she's gonna power attack the one that's there. 20.
20 hits.
Cool. It doesn't crit?
It does not crit.
Yeah, I know. Where the hell did my other D12 go? There it is. 13 points of damage.
As you take your great sword, you come up and with a mighty slash, you just cut across the upper part of its torso through its throat, and it just falls forward. Taffy nimbly jumping just to the side of it to prevent this large hulking turtle beast, lizard turtle quadruped from falling on top of her. It is now Bread's turn. You saw this thing burst out of the water and just make this swipe at Taffy, and it punctured its shell right into Taffy, and then Steno comes up after Taffy's Ray of Frost and then cuts through a chunk of it, and you can see that Taffy's gaze is on what you're assuming is another creature still in the water.
All right, I'm gonna go for the twin takedown attack on the one that's already been damaged.
No, there's one in the water and the other one has been dropped to 0 hit points.
Oh,
He
okay.
did.
Sorry.
He's been decapitated. Nearly.
Is the one that's in the water, is it like attackable, or do we need to let it come
You
up
can
before?
attempt to attack it, but it's nearly headless Michelangelo is not alive to consent, so that doesn't count.
I mean, if it was a ghost.
Then yes, it would be nearly headless Michelangelo. And House Huffleturtle? I don't know.
The Hufflepuffs wouldn't want it.
I'll use
Actually, they would.
an action to get out my short bow
Okay.
and take a hit, or do the bow thing.
Shoot.
At it, whatever the.
You mean make a ranged strike against it?
Yeah.
You're gonna shoot at it?
That's
Pew,
the
pew.
word. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 misses.
Because I would have
You let your bowstring go, and the twang goes by, and then you see the arrow go into the water area where it is, but it just catches on the corpse that's on its shell. And I believe you have one more action left.
Oh, yeah, I'll shoot it one more time.
Okay,
18 minus
5.
Oh, 13 again. Wow. Awesome.
So, from what that one, you see that one go into the water and then just bounce off a shell. And at that's now where it rears up, bringing itself up out of the water and moving up to Taffy. Taffy, what's your AC again?
Oh, hell.
Now it's 14.
Its first strike misses you as it tried to also slash you with its claw. And this time it is going to try to body check Steno to the side.
So it enters my attack of opportunity.
It moves into the area,
Uh-huh.
Unless
but it has not moved through the area.
Damn it.
And so its body check side is coming towards you. What is your AC, Steno?
18.
So you're able to use your sword to fend yourself away from it, nimbly avoiding the spikes coming from the shell.
She's gonna bare her teeth at it.
Demos,
How close is it to me?
within one action.
Okay, I'm gonna get up there, and I've got my rapier, and I'm going to take a stab at it.
Okay,
She's gonna poke it.
21.
21 hits.
1.
Wait, you don't add your strength or anything to it?
Do I know? I don't have strength. I have a 0 modifier for strength.
Are you using your dex to attack? Oh wait, that's only a fighter thing.
So Demos comes in with their rapier and catches underneath part of its arm and just whoosh,
Pokes it.
cuts open a small gash in its arm as it's there. And seeing that this creature has 6 limbs
Oh,
in total.
hell.
I'm going to use my last action to do Inspire Courage.
Okay.
Thanks. What does it do again?
Inspires courage.
+1 status bonus to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear. so you're welcome.
Taffy, a second one emerged, the one you initially spotted, but it is your actions.
Oh,
Can I recommend backing up?
she's gonna back up 20 feet.
Okay,
I'm gonna cast Electric Arc on the water
all right.
that it's standing in.
So, what do you have to target for electric arc?
Oh, 1 to 2 creatures.
So you have to target the creature?
Yeah. Saving throw basic reflex.
So it gets a save against your...
Yeah, but it doesn't require an attack roll.
Right, that's because it gets a save.
Okay. So yeah, it has to beat my
What is
spell
your
DC, which is a 17.
So as you can imagine, this is not the most dexterous creature.
I don't think that's the word you want it.
What if I want to turn it into
Dexterous?
dexterous?
Dexterous.
What if I just called it dexterous?
Anyway, did it resist?
It actually does.
Oh boy.
It resists with an 18.
Wow.
It rolled a 16. It only had a +2. What happens if it does a success against it?
No.
So it'd be standard fail. So Taffy thinks that if you just electrify the water, it's fine, but there's apparently not enough particulates for it to travel effectively into the water, and so it's able to step up and out before it gets affected. Steno, it is now right in front of you.
Guess what she's gonna do?
I sense a power attack in its future.
She's gonna power attack.
Alright, roll a hit.
Only if I can roll the right dice.
My spells are
20.
Hits.
Brilliant. 14 damage.
14. It is still up. You cleave into it, and it is an unhappy chappy. Much like the other, you have split open its undershell in this case. What would you like to do with your remaining action?
Could she like brace for impact or anything like that?
Well, normally if you had like a shield, you could raise your shield up to get something like that, but you're running around with the two-handed here.
Right.
You can move back, you could strike again.
She's gonna basically bare her teeth at it and yell, "Get back!" And
Then
that's
give me an intimidation check.
it. Okay. She's pretty scary. Like 19 scary.
So you bare your fangs at it, and you see the creature begin to cow away from you. Its head looks like it's beginning to pull itself back as its bread's turn. You see it attempt to cow away from
So did it
Steno bread.
understand common?
It looked at you intelligently.
Oh.
Want to hold my attack.
Okay, you want to delay or ready?
Delay.
Okie doke. So, what you assume is a monster, it pops its head into its torso. It begins cowing down in a kind of raspy, gurgly sound. You hear in common, "Mercy! I'm sorry. Please, I will leave here." It appears to be attempting to entreat with y'all. Demos?
Insight check.
Oh. Oh boy. Shoot. I want to do something with diplomacy, but I'm not sure what to tell it. So it's already saying, that it's going to leave?
Ask its name.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna ask what its name is.
Okay, go ahead and give me a quick diplomacy.
14?
My name is Shallow Sticker.
Hmm.
This is our hunting grounds. Foolish, tasty creatures are normally attracted to, I call him Rob. And we punish the foolish.
Hop out and
Please.
leave.
You will let me go?
If you leave.
It attempts to back up. Steno, what do you do?
It's been killing people. It's...
Has it, though?
She's thinking.
I mean, Rob is impaled on its back.
Oh, I thought it meant it was attracted to Rob being the other creature.
No.
Oh.
No, to the they on it.
They're turtle swingers.
Oh, Lord.
And that's a part of that fandom we didn't know existed until now.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Swingers.
Oh, no.
That's a form of turtle power I wasn't expecting.
Oh, God.
Cheesy.
Fuck off.
You leave now.
Okay. Still looking very intimidating. She's a very scary person.
Yes.
Um,
So, as it's backing off, you have... It's not an action, it is an attack of opportunity. Do you take the attack?
she's not going to take the attack.
Okay.
But
Taffy
she is going to... You don't have attack of opportunity. She's going to definitely point her sword at it and go, leave. Do not return.
Taffy.
She's gonna cast Freezing Ray on it.
Oh.
You are not a dwarf right now.
You
I
do
can't-
not get to rage.
I can't tell you her alignment because that would be spoilers, sweetie, but she would not stand by that.
All right. Roll your attack. And this is your Ray of Frost.
Yep, 17 to attack.
17 hits.
$10 damage.
Ooh. That's the most any of your Rays of Frost have ever
I
done.
know.
So it was beginning to back away. That's what it used its ready action for. It begged for mercy. It moved away. Senna was pointing their great sword at it as it was moving, and then Taffy just takes and finishes casting her spell, and it catches it full force right into its face. And its eyes were this mix of terror as it just falls shell down into the shallow pool.
Taffy, that was
Oh, Daxie!
sentient. That
It was killing people.
It was sentient.
It was hurting people.
And it
Eating
was-
them.
People hurt people too. It's just the way
I would
things
freeze
are.
Ray if somebody else had somebody pinned to their back and trying to get people to kill them.
Stano's opinion of the gnome has changed.
-5 friendship points.
-5?
Well, you're lawful, so probably even more.
Like 100.
Like, yeah.
Who makes you the ruler of who gets to be punished and who doesn't?
Me? I'm sorry, but when it comes down to it, that thing was using a human being or a humanoid as bait to kill other humanoids. And
Deimos just going to plap its shell a little.
it had a partner in crime. The only reason it was running
Yes,
away...
the partner was dead.
The only reason it was running away is because it no longer had an advantage. It's a bad creature.
Where are they?
From the western side of the room, you hear this pitiful crying sound as y'all raise your voices at each other.
Taffy no longer gives a shit about the conversation. She whips around and looks for the puppies.
On the western side, you see what appears to be an overflow chamber that was used for housing people in and out for the court proceedings. This gallery area has a clear view into the courtroom, and you have a clear view into it now. You see it's littered with piles of filthy blankets and half-gnawed bones, and you see that there are signs that appear to be two wolf-like puppies have taken notice of y'all, and then they've begun to growl at you with their oddly large puppy teeth. seeing that y'all are there.
Gonna book it over.
Same.
Give me a knowledge nature check. Everyone who's got it.
Stano is going to take a moment to keep the bard and the gnome from rushing up at these dogs.
So you can pick one.
Puppy.
The Corvosan
Yes,
is
you
still
can-
back there.
She's
With
gonna
your-
she's gonna grab Taffy because Taffy. How many hit points does Taffy have left?
3.
Taffy's
Taffy's already scrounging in her bag to grab food. Like, she is going to kick and scream if you try to hold her.
Perhaps don't run up at them.
I won't. I'm not totally stupid.
Totally.
So go ahead and give me a quick strike attack. We'll use it as a grab.
Deimos is actively yanking food out of his bag, too.
Do I just add my strength to that?
It would be like a strike.
Can I reflex?
That's why she's getting a strike.
21.
So Steno grabs you as you're going through, as you're pulling it out of your bag, and your legs continue forward as out from under you, as you're just kind of held there by the back of the dress.
She's
And-
going to continue to pull even if it tears the dress.
And then Demos makes it over to the puppies. Are you going to hold Taffy there?
I'm going to set her back down. And then release.
And as y'all, Demos and Taffy get over to him, what was y'all's knowledge and nature checks?
I have none.
You can still attempt to make a knowledge check.
I got a perfect 20.
Damn!
14.
So, from what you can tell, Demos, these appear to be warg puppies.
Okay.
Wargs are bigger than wolves. They're almost like the epitome of the idea of a wolf. And from what you can tell, these are very young puppies. They're likely 5 to 6 days old, from what you can tell. And they've already been, from what you can tell, looks like they've been using a small puddle of water probably for their drinking source. And you can see a couple spaces of where it looks like they may have ripped open a couple larger beetles for some sustenance. And you can tell that both of the puppies, female puppies, are exceedingly undernourished. Likely they haven't been able to nurse for at least a couple days. Then one of them is a kind of a beige tinted white female with darker gray mittens on each of her feet. The other one is a little bit more of a motley darker gray, but their tail has white fluffs at the end of it, and there are white tips beginning to form on its ears.
Stano's gonna pull some jerky out of her bag and walk up and kneel down.
That's what Deimos is already trying to do.
So all Taffy, Stano, and Demos each give me either nature or diplomacy.
17.
27.
27.
Ow.
Ooh. Someone desires the favor of the puppies, does she? Thank you for the button, Taffy.
16 in diplomacy.
So between the three of you and the use of the jerky, you're able to coax both of them over. And while you don't by any means think that they are tame, you can tell that they are very interested in the jerky from your trail rations. And when they look into you, you can see this glint of intelligence.
The Corvosan walks in, because he's still been in the other room, walks into the door with his arms full of tail meat, because he loves tails.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Whoa.
gross.
Are those wargs?
They are. Stano is going to very gently scoop one of them up to get a better look.
Deimos has already picked one up and is like attempting to feed it in his arms.
The tail meat is very bloody, by the way. Very
Oh, gross.
bloody. Delicious for puppies.
You see them, the puppies, take a look, and they are immediately interested in what, and they're mewling for a taste of what bread has carried into the room.
Stano's going to stick out a hand. Give me a piece.
That's my tail meat. I love tail.
You can have the
Can't
rest
take
of
my
it.
tail away from me.
Give me a tiny piece for the dogs.
Fuck. And he hands
Watch your language.
There are
hands
children in
one
here.
small piece.
She's gonna feed it to the little bastard in her arm.
It greedily takes it from your hand. Give me a reflex +5 on top of your standard one.
I'm about to get bit.
18. Nope, 19.
So you dodge just as you see its jaw unhinge and nip right where you're holding the morsel, and it begins gobbling and chewing it, just as like you would see other canines do, where it's got the meat and it's working it over and the sides of it, greedily chomping it down.
She's gonna take a moment to kind of like check out its teeth and everything.
They are, if they're really 6 days old, you can already see that the canines and the incisors are already formed in. It still looks like it's got a nursing bite to it, but you can see that they've been definitely attempting to chew and eat on anything that they could find. They are savagely hungry.
Very brusquely, she's gonna go, they won't survive without help, and it's a good part of the law to assist with starving animals.
See, you like tiny things.
Don't start. And she's going to take the warg puppy and very gently place it in Taffy's arms.
Taffy is the happiest she's ever been with this group because she's holding a puppy. Wait, which one did you pick up? The malted?
I don't know, just
malted
one of them.
or?
Sure,
We
the
both-
mottled one.
Ah! Okay, cool.
It's not malted.
I know, I meant mottled.
Like a malt, like a frozen malt
It's
drink.
tasty and
Like
sweet.
a Whopper.
No. She's gonna... I'm gonna call you Luna because you look like a moon rock.
A what?
Like a... You know the stones that are like gray and white and look like the moon in the sky?
Does Galarion have a moon?
Yeah, they have like 3, I think, right?
How many moons do you need for one planet?
Well, apparently Galarion needs 3.
This is why Aridin left us.
This tides must be crazy
So
as shit.
Taffy
Right.
is, because she can tell that they're semi-intelligent creatures or very intelligent creatures, she's gonna talk to it like it's an intelligent creature, and like she's gonna turn to Brad. May I have a little bit more tail meat?
He rolls his eyes, but he finds favor with the whatever.
With Taffy.
Gnome? Yeah, gnome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes the gnome, so sure.
Yay!
Wait, but I thought in the episode before you left, you said that Stato melted his crusty exterior.
What?
No,
I?
it was definitely Taffy.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope. Because Stano called him a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was just sarcasm. You're all right. I respect your skills.
But I gave him a nickname.
So, with this pile of meat in tucked under Bread's arms, he's cut off and handed a couple pieces to Demos and Taffy so that they can feed the pups that are in their hands. And then you'll see the northern door to this area swing open, and it looks like there is a warg, fully grown adult male warg, gray in coloration, with some hints of white running along its chest. And it peers forward, and then it just snarls at y'all, and it begins to let out a hunger-ridden howl.
Stano's gonna snarl back at it.
Give me an intimidate.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How far?
It is within one action of each of you.
Okay, so not far at all.
15.
Is that a will? Will that be a will save?
It would be against its will. And as you growl back at it, it cuts its howl short
Did Stano startle it?
and then looks pupil to pupil at Stano. Everyone, give me a perception check.
17.
15.
7.
You're staring at the dog.
I'm like, oh, puppy,
What
puppy,
did-
14.
puppy.
15, sorry.
And then 14 for Bread, 7 for Deimos.
All right, so Taffy, what was yours?
17.
And Stano was 14?
15.
15. And Demos?
Bread was... Oh. Deimos was 7.
And then Bread is after Stano?
Yes, Bread was 14.
And so it looks as though it's going to be acting first. It's caught eye of Steno, and then its eyes immediately look right at Bread with his hands full of fresh cut flesh.
No.
Did you take both tails or just the one?
Probably both.
Yeah,
have pretty big tails.
Both. Yeah, because I was trying to get as much as possible. So
And it is going to move up to Bread.
it was like a comically, like a large
Yeah.
amount.
So you got 2 tails over your shoulder.
No, I sliced them up.
So-
and so it's like
Oh.
here, like.
For a question,
Oh,
did
God.
Stano
Tail
actually
stakes.
successfully intimidate that warg?
There's a reason it didn't attack you.
Brilliant.
Now, Bread, you would normally be flat-footed with this amount of non-standard things in your hands. You have a choice here. Do you drop your meat and accept being, and reject being flat-footed, or will you stay flat-footed and protect the meat?
Stay flat-footed, protect me.
It attacks you. What is your AC?
18.
It is able to hit you.
It
And
didn't even care about the pups. It was going after the meat.
Oh yeah, it definitely hit.
Oh, no. Never want to hear that.
So, like, what are the chances that I could befriend this with all this meat?
Well, if you'd have dropped it, there might have been a higher chance.
It
could've-
deals to you 12 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Are you dead?
smacks.
No, I'm not dead yet, but
Cool.
And you are grabbed.
I'm grabbed. Nope, no, I'm not. I had to wait. I can be, but I also
You are
can roll.
flat-footed because you are holding.
I
an
know, but I have a
accessible
feet.
weapon.
I have a feat that prevents me from
You
being
do have
grabbed
feet.
if I
You
roll.
have 2 of them.
If I roll correctly.
All right.
Let me see how this works again. I haven't had to use it yet. The feat is called Unfettered Halfling
Okay.
because of his. He has a specialized background. But that's all y'all need to know for now.
So was that
Uh,
about Bread's background?
Yeah.
Has he risen to a lot of occasions?
Oh my God! Not again. Whenever you roll a success on a check to escape or a saving throw against an effect that would impose the grab or restraint condition on you, you get a critical success instead. Whenever a creature rolls a failure on a check to grapple you, they get a critical failure instead. If a creature uses the grab ability on you, you must succeed at an athletics check to grab you instead of automatically grabbing you.
All right. So it gets to athletics you in this case. So you've taken the damage. That's not a good time to get natural 20'd. At least it wasn't damaged. You are grabbed.
Fine.
You are very grabbed.
Could have dropped some tail.
Don't you talk about dropping tail to me.
So
I don't know. It sounded
Okay.
sexual or something. I don't know.
it is going to now, with you grabbed, it's going to attempt to swallow all of the meat in your arms.
No! No, my tail! My delicious tail! And he's just like, whoa, because I'm sure he's getting like swung around a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
No, not my tail! No,
Release the tail.
So I'm going to roll his attack. Now, I normally don't have to roll for a swallow whole, but normally it's small and it's targeting the bundle of meat that you have around you. So I'm going to have it be a melee attack, and you're going to roll an opposed athletics. If it hits you, you're going to take the swallow whole damage without the effect,
Wow.
and all of your meat will be gone.
Oh no.
But if you hold on with your athletics skill, you will be able to maintain your meat. It will have just been severely licked by a warg.
I don't think that's going to put him off.
So,
I don't either, actually.
what do you get to a bonus to your athletics?
5.
5. So you have a good shot here. What you need to beat is a 16.
All right.
We believe in you.
Will he keep his meat? Will it be there? Oh, we're going to turn in a button. What was your original roll?
It was a 5.
Ooh. All right. Medvic is exceedingly happy. He's very, very giddy to be getting
Does
another.
Medvic like a meaty button?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Meaty button sounds so gross.
You see, I've been working on this recipe. And I'm not... It's something that you serve on top of a gloriously large button. Something bigger than the size of a dinner plate. And then you just make sure it is fully in place, and then you are able to consume
Medvic.
off of it.
Do you mean a platter?
Can a platter also stab someone in the eye?
Are we seriously talking to this fucking button goblin?
So, Zach, you're going to need to roll again, but that's all right because we'll just find out next time if you get to keep your meat.
So, you think we should have told them Brad went in a few minutes before them? He seemed so proud of how he climbed that wall. Did you see how he put his hands on his hips when he reached the battlements? Very dashing. The long sink is just lucky he didn't fall off the wall. Come now, Helba. They're going to help clear out the dens of intruders. We should make sure that they have a safe place to rest. Have you not heard the howls coming from the forest? A she-warg is roaming the hills. We're lucky we've not been hunted out here. Give me a good sturdy door to hold up behind. This camping is much more your speed, Warble. Oh, don't fret too much, Helba. Something tells me we can believe in these heroes. They do seem strong. Their gnome is pretty sturdy. I keep seeing that one with new scars. Oh, Helba gnomes are very sturdy. They're just not goblin sturdy.